welcome back to my channel. It's me, Ivana, and we're getting ready, a little chit chat. Get ready with me today because I feel like I have a little bit of explaining to do. I'm currently hanging out with my friends from back home. I've known them for years, so they're like my aces. And recently, since moving to Houston, I have made new friends. So I did kind of just want to update y'all and just do a little chit chat about like making friends and making friends as an adult. If you're interested, just keep on watching and don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm honestly we're getting ready to go to lunch, and I'm in a bit of a rush, but when am I not? So it's okay. So I'm just touching up my hair. I slept crazy on it, so I just want to touch up the front, and then I'm using a little bit of serum just to liven it up a little bit. But yeah, so as far as where to find friends, this is the part I'm not even gonna front with y'all. My friends for the most part kind of fell in my lap from putting myself out there, from the standpoint of like literally going on my Instagram story and being like, I need friends. I think it's super important to put it out there, especially to people that already like know you, might know someone that they know in your city. I don't know, I just think it's like smart to put it out there. And personally for me to see somebody do that, it's like, oh, cool. You know what I mean? It's like an open door for a DM. So that is how I made a lot of people that I went on friendship dates with came from Instagram. So that, I think that's my number one source. But the friends that I met through my friend Warren, who is like the one who pretty much like introduced me to all my friends, some people in that friend group met on Bumble. So I did want to put that out there, like apparently it works. And these girls are girls that like, it's not just like, oh, it's cool, or we go out. Like I actually really enjoyed their company. Like I'm not talking about like buddies, like I'm talking about like friends and like people you can actually like rely on and grow with. So as far as where to find friends like out in the world, I'm be real, that has not happened for me that way. But I'm pretty friendly when I go out. I try to be very friendly, like when I go to my Pilates classes and I see, you know, someone who I think we might have things in common, like I'll definitely like speak to them or talk to really like everybody. But you know, I you know, it just hasn't happened that way because I do feel like sometimes I come off too friendly. I don't know, or like I don't think our generation is that well like socially adjusted yet. I don't know. I'll blame the pandemic, but I know that sometimes I can just come off like really friendly and it's not like, it doesn't work very well for me. Although I don't know where to find friends, I sure as hell know how to make some friends. This girl talking about, can you scoop me too? Not us all. Y'all know I gotta clean this car out too now. Okay, like I'm not gonna be on time. We're solidifying that I'm not going to be on time, but anyways. I can make friends like it's nobody's business, but it's come from observing other people and how they made friends. So this isn't like not all me. Like, what I've noticed is, number one, I think the most important thing is like, if you know you're about to be in a social setting where you're going to meet new people, you got to do it at your best. And that doesn't mean it's not about the aesthetics or the looks. It's not about that. It's about being your energetic best. Whether that means you woke up that day and you just feel amazing, or you gotta fake it till you make it. If you know you're going to be bad vibes, like if you know my mood is not going to change and there's nothing I can do about it, don't go. Like really just don't. Like I know if like I'm in a space where I will not be 100% myself because of other things going on, I'm just not gonna go. And I don't wanna be rude, I don't wanna cancel last minute on anybody, but also it's like, not showing up at, like, if I'm not going to show up as a person that you really need and want there, what's the point of me being there? Find a couple of things that you are comfortable being vulnerable about, kind of like off rip, to be honest. Like, there's just like a few things that like, hey, even if you're a stranger, even if I think you're going to judge me, these are the few things in my life that like, I don't give a fuck if you know about them type of things. And be vulnerable about it. Like, I guess like one of them for me, for example, would be, I'm in a long distance relationship. So to some people that might be not weird, but a lot of people have been in long distance relationships, or you know what I mean? It's like, it's one of those things that you can kind of be like vulnerable about, I guess, or some people, you know, it just leaves room, I guess, for people to question your relationship. So I can see where people would be like more vulnerable about it. Not technically not being in a long distance relationship, but just talking about your relationship in general. But yeah, I know that people kind of are intrigued when I tell them about my relationship situation. But because I don't feel defensive about it, like it's one of those things where I'm like, this is what it is, I'm happy. So like, you can judge it if you want to. But I also know it's something that can bring people together in a way. You know what I mean? It's like, it is something people can relate on. So finding a few things like that that are personal to you and can connect you with other people, but you also aren't gonna feel like, oh, maybe I said too much or I overshared. You know, I'm the oversharing queen, so like really my boundaries are limited. So, you know, but find a couple things, because that is something I notice, that not only does it connect people, but I look for that now. Because there was a new girl that came to a dinner and she just briefly mentioned something personal in front of a group of people that she didn't quite know. But to me, that's confidence. Like, a confident person is gonna recognize that and not see it as weakness. They're gonna see that as a strength. And those are the people you want to attract in your life. And if that is something that matters to you, being vulnerable with your group, then prioritize it in, frankly, the first meeting. Things move faster when you are yourself and when you let those walls down. And even if you still have walls, it's okay, but you gotta pick like the lowest wall to like let people in. You know what I mean? Like, just pick the wall that you're coolest with. Another tip that I would definitely keep in mind is like, not everyone is like an eager beaver. Like, I know I can come off a little strong sometimes, but that's honestly just my personality and it is what it is and I can't change it. And if you don't like it now, you're never gonna like it. So I know that I'll come on very friendly and some people might think that it's fake, and it's not. But at the same time, I can't not be who I am and be standoffish, because it's not authentic to me. Like, that's just not who I am anymore. I'm not gonna be a standoffish person. Even if I peep that energy from you, I kind of will just narrow in on them and kind of like just like frankly kind of be like, get over it. Like, because some people are shy, they're a little more shy, they're a little more reserved, they've had like, you know, been through it with other friends, they're just sussing you out. But when people suss you out, don't take it so negatively. Don't take it like, oh, this person doesn't like me off rip. Like, don't take it like that. Just take it like they want to like you, but they're just still figuring you out. That's how I took it. I know my friend Kay, I told her, and that's the thing, be very straight up, especially after you meet somebody. Be very straight up. It's like, I knew you were, not you weren't feeling me, but I knew you were like hesitant towards me. And like, then that's when I like really like turned it up. I was like, I'm not letting up. You know what I mean? Like, there's something about you that I think, you know, we're gonna like each other. So I'm just gonna keep trying and be not persistent. Don't be annoying, but also don't let someone else's energy towards you fuck with your good vibes. You know what I mean? And it's not that she had bad energy. It was just that slight little bit of reservation where I have seen people completely shut down and then kind of mirror the same response as this person, and then we just never get to know each other. If that's your personality, you come off strong, you know, don't stop. But also, if your personality is to be a little standoffish, you know, don't completely close yourself off. And I would say be very aware of your body language. Like, people are gonna have to try and figure you out, and you can't take offense to that. Like, people are at that age where it's like, everyone's gone through something, everyone's had a bad experience with a friend, everyone's had a falling out, everyone's had like a painful friend breakup at this point. So you know, just like be mindful of that. And a lot of it does nothing to do with you. I think this is like the number one thing that it catches people off guard and is something that I do consider probably like in the category of like being overly friendly, but like I really don't care, because if that's how I feel, I'm gonna tell you. So there was a Valentine's Day party, and in the middle of it, I was basically just like, we were having really good conversation. I was really enjoying myself. And I was just like, honestly, I really like y'all, like to a whole group of people. I was like, I really like y'all. Like, and I think that's how it should be, to be honest. Like, you need to be very upfront and frankly in the moment about how you feel about people. Like, oh, I'm really enjoying our conversation. Oh, I really love your energy right now. And like, this is so cool. And like, you know, I'm really glad we got together. Like, reassuring people, especially like in the moment, number one, it shows a lot of confidence that you're not afraid to like compliment people, or, you know, like just say what it is and how you feel. Like I just like why be like reserved about it? It's like, I like y'all, like, you know what I mean? Like, and it really did kind of like everyone kind of like laughed, and I was like, oh yeah, that is like kind of like, I don't know, forward, but like that's just who I am. That is what it is. So but it also freaking worked. Like y'all was laughing and stuff, but it lightened the energy low key, because it was like, okay, it was almost like that unspoken thing of like, wow, we're all vibing, but it's like someone has to say it. Like sometimes you just have to be the person to be like, yo, I like what's going on. We got to do this again. There's nothing wrong with that. And honestly, it's like, it just be genuine in the moment of how you feel, and people will respond to that, because it's like, oh, you're not fake or phony, you know. It just gives it something different to be that, like, not vulnerable, but just open. Like, hey, I'm enjoying myself. You better say it. Like, it goes hand in hand, but more personal. Like, instead of just like being in a group, telling people what you like about them is important, but also being able to articulate what you like in friends is like so big. Like just talking to my friend Kay, like realized, you know, she was like talking about how she's self-sufficient and things like that, and I was like, that is what I like about you. Like, you're a self-sufficient friend. And I also realized that is something I like in all of my friends, is like, I like that they will always be okay. They might want my help, but they don't need it type thing. Like, it's ideal. But that's for almost every relationship. That's even like goes for men in my life. Like, you need to be self-sufficient. It's important because I'm an independent person. Like, I move through life independently. So if you can do that too, but we can also rely on one another in a way, it's good. But letting people know what you like about them in the moment is huge. Like, to me, when people do that to me, I'm like, oh, you're a confident motherfucker. Like, I like that. Like, I like that. I'm like, heck yeah. Like, you know, but not in a way of like kissing ass. Just like, what you said just now was so insightful, and like, I really appreciate that about you. Like, say it as you feel it, because you really do need to say what is on your mind to people, because you don't, nothing is promised. A, nothing is promised, and B, it just, these are the things that will speed up the process of really getting to know somebody and building an actual friendship. I think that is like the key to like making friends, is just like being yourself, being open, all the blah, 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 blah. You don't want things to plateau. You want to keep that momentum of growing and actually getting to know somebody on a deeper and deeper level. It starts with taking pride out of communication. Like, you can't feel like, oh, wait, text me this and that. Like, my friend Sydney, I'd be so awful at texting sometimes. Like, I really am not like the best texter, and everyone knows it, but I'm gonna try. And I think it's important that I tell people beforehand, I'm not a good texter. You know what I mean? Like, I will get back to you. Like, I will. Just give me a second. That's just not like my method. Also, DMs. I check my Instagram maybe twice a day. Sometimes it's 3 times a week. You know what I mean? It's just not the way to reach me. But be clear about that in the beginning, so people know how you like to be reached. I also think taking that step to bring it to FaceTime, if you're a FaceTimer, I was straight the fuck up. I was like, let's see if I FaceTime her, and I was like, let's see if you real. Let's see if you real. I text her that, and they pick up, and then you get into that like if anybody FaceTime me right now, I would never be like, oh, what are you doing? Like, no, like, but that's my method of communication. Like, I love a FaceTime. Like, that never bothers me. If you just even have a quick question, FaceTiming, like, it's nothing. But you gotta set up that parameter, and you can't have pride about like, oh, who texts? Like, shut up. Like, who? Like, obviously you want reciprocation and effort, but there is a certain point where it's like, bro, we're freaking busy, and like, people be going through stuff or don't be seeing things. Like, you just can't have like so much entitlement over getting a response all the time, I guess. Like, I don't know. But if that bothers you in a relationship, know that and be clear with that, and just like, and stand on that, and that's cool. But like, personally for me, I know that that's, if you don't text me for a whole month, like, I'm really not gonna stress. Like, it doesn't mean like you hate me or anything like that. But if you need that reassurance, be straight up that that you need that reassurance. I also think it's so important to like ask questions about things like, okay, what do you, like, let's get really granular of like, what questions will you ask somebody that will grow a friendship? I feel like talking about prior friendships is super normal to me. That's something that I've noticed. I feel like everyone's, it helps you learn their boundaries in a friendship. It helps you learn about their past, you know what I mean? Their own hangups, why there might be resistance towards certain things. You know what I mean? It's good to know your friends' history. And frankly, sometimes you can tell very easily if someone's a problem. Oh, it's you. It's you. You know, so it's good to know. And in those conversations, you can also see where they take accountability, which should be a pretty big deal to most people. It's like, does this person in my life, do they take accountability? Type thing like that should be important to you, and you will find that out when you have those conversations about long-term friendship. It doesn't even have to be a bad thing, like a friendship that dissolved. Like, no, you know, what are your friends from back home like, and stuff like that, you know. Also, their interests. I think it's really important. You need to know what they're interested in outside of like their career and things like that. Like, what makes you tick? Do you like to read? Are you interested in science, astrology? I think astrology is probably the easiest one. Like lately, I was like, what's your sign? Are you into astrology? That'll usually either get somebody going as far as like why they believe in astrology, or the opposite of like why they don't mess with astrology. Don't ask this. The worst question in the world is, tell me about yourself. Please. Please. I will never tell you about myself. I don't know how. Like, stop it. You have to ask people questions. Don't be afraid to talk about relationships. Relationship status is important. Are you in a relationship? Long distance? Do you live together? When did y'all move in? You know what I mean? Like, people love talking about themselves, but they love also talking about the extension of themselves, their better half. Like, and they light up and all the things. And that's also a good way to kind of, although I have not made any couple friends yet, you know, I know there are a few guys I am really excited for my boyfriend to meet, because you know, of how their girlfriend talks about them and things like that. I'm like, oh, okay, I can see my boyfriend hitting it off with you and things like that, because, you know, I want to go on some couple trips. I'm not even being shy about it. I've been telling everybody, I'm trying to go on some couple trips. I'm trying to have a good time, but I want my man there too, you know, but I can hang out with my girls and him have a good time too. Like, I'm gunning for some couple trips coming up. So, you know, but also it's like, it has to be authentic. So just ask about people's relationships. You should get into the habit of feeling comfortable enough to talk about, maybe not the first time, but eventually when you get to know somebody, have a texting relationship, maybe we FaceTime a couple times, let's talk about, you know, the nitty gritty. Let's talk about your relationship with your parents. Let's talk about religion, spirituality. Let's talk about sexuality. Let's talk about the politics, things going on in the news. I think it's so important to get deep with people and see their side, but you also need to be in a space where nothing can offend you, because everybody is so different. Like, you need to stand firm in what you believe in, but also be open to the fact that this person might not be exactly like you, and that is okay. You know, I think it's very mature. If you want to build a community, you have to show people what that feels like. What does community feel like? And to me, that is people helping each other and however that manifests. So, for example, you need to know about your friends' aspirations in life. You need, outside of career too, like you need to know their career aspirations. What are you doing? Where are you working? And where do you want to be? And I mean in the longest term. So if I ever come across somebody that can help you, I need to know that. And sometimes that can be hard, because sometimes people are not very real about their aspirations, or they hide them and they don't feel comfortable. But you need to, for example, when Lauren and I met, what made me click, resonate, the thing I remembered most about her was when she was so straight up about, I want to go to New York Fashion Week. And you meet a lot of small-minded people sometimes that do not have big dreams, and they do not want to express them to you. But they'll be doing, you know, the things behind it. But I like to be around people that are open with what they are doing, because that open communication, number one, I think it helps manifest things. And I think that I do have, frankly, One girl specifically, my friend Sydney, shout out to you from Philly, she is definitely someone I consider like a co-manifester. Like, we are very clear to each other about our goals, and we encourage each other to strive for them, and we keep each other on, and we're always looking for resources for each other, and to build ourselves up. So I think it's really important to know exactly where they want to go, but also if there is like a weird like hesitancy, people are figuring it out though. If they're open, like, hey, I'm just figuring it out, I don't really know, cool, that's no problem. Like, bet, say less. We are all trying to figure it out, but I really do need to know what motivates you. And I think that is so important when building a friendship. Like, what motivates you? Like, I get it, we all have career aspirations, but why? My why personally is my family. I just want to be close to everybody. I want to be able to be here, be there. I don't want to miss a birthday anymore of my friends. Like, I want to be able to be everywhere I'm needed for my friends in my community, no matter where they go. No matter what. So that's my why for every single thing that I do. I want to be close. I want to be close to everybody. You need money for that, okay? You need money for that. But anyways, that's my why. And it's so, it lets people realize that, like, oh, okay, you ain't this like shallow wannabe influencer, but like, no, that's really not it. Like, that's like get past the surface bullshit, get past I want to have a nice home, get past that shit. Why, what does your inner child want? That's kind of the direction of conversations you need to go with people to really get to know them. Offering to help when you can is so enriching for you and them. Showing people that they can trust and rely on you is everything. Just offer. Because a lot of the people that I attract, frankly, aren't people that are gonna ask for help. It's just my independent nature. I'm sure it comes off, or I come off very busy, like I don't have time, and I do have time. So making it very clear that you have time to help people, or if anything comes up, like, oh, I have some casting, like my friend Lauren, you'll see in the vlog, she was like, mentioned castings or something, or maybe I asked, I don't know. She's like, yeah, I have castings coming up. I was like, I want to go, like, I'll follow you around. And then I remember she mentioned wanting to vlog her castings. I was like, girl, I'll be a little cameraman, like, shoot, like, sign me up. Those are the things, like, remember things that people want to do with their life and help them do it. Like, it's it's like half an afternoon. Like, it was half an afternoon just to like help somebody. And I had a great time. I got my content, you know what I mean? It's like, it's everything to just put yourself out there to help someone do something that they want to do. And it's simple. And usually it ends up being fun, and like, just be open about helping people, be helpful where you can. Another way of being helpful is connecting people you think should be connected. If you have like friends that you think should be friends with each other, connect them. If you have a contact that you think your friend could use, give it to them. You know what I mean? Like, be open with your Rolodex when you can and when you trust them. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not a big fan of doing like referrals or things like that. Like, I am putting my name on you, but you know what I mean? But like, I can get you if I can get you where you need to know without putting my name on it, I will. You know what I mean? Like, it's a reputation thing that, do what you can do that makes you comfortable with things like that, because it can reflect on you too. So be wary. And also as simple as putting people on, and not in a like, I know better than you way, but in a like, I want to have an open flow of communication with my friends where if they see something that they think that I would be interested in or would be cool to me, send it to me. Send me the drink recipe, send me the music, send me the restaurant, send me send it to me. But also being open to recommendations. I think sometimes like I can obviously come off like a little bit, not know-it-all, but like I got my shit together, and like I don't. Like, I really don't. So I love when people, like, asking people for recommendations when you're kind of that person where people think like, oh, she has it together. Ask. Like, you really do have to kind of like, hey, you can put me onto things, because I don't, like, I'm not that girl. Like, I don't know every freaking thing. Like, music, I'm very open about the fact, like, I don't go out and seek new music. That is not me. I don't seek new music ever. But I have some friends that have the best playlist ever. Like ever. Like so good. They love it. That is their thing. Put me on. You know, type thing of like, hey, send me the new playlist, whatever you have, like send it to me. Just being open about the fact of like, you don't know everything, you don't have everything. You know, like your recommendations, your suggestions, your opinion, your view of life, your perspective is important to me. And I want us to constantly be sharing those things because it's helpful. And it's kind of just a way of being like, hey, you're on my mind. So simple. Send me a podcast. That's when I know I'm on your mind. You send me a podcast, be girl. Like I know you fuck with me. Like I know you fuck with me. Not constant, you don't have to be OD with it, but reassurance in any relationship is so important. Like just like I can't even remember the conversation. I was just I was like, girl, we're friends now. Like we're friends. Or even my friend Colette, she is more into like alternative things like that. And I got her alone. I courted her. I was like, why don't you invite me to these things? Like, don't think you can't take me there just because I dress a certain way or it might not be my type of music, but like I want to see what you're interested in genuinely. So don't be afraid to like bring it up to us. Like I'll go, like I'm down type thing. So I think reassuring people of like, especially when you meet people in a group, of like, I am still like actively trying to get to know you. And although sometimes you will get to know other people faster or whatever, still making that effort of saying like, I'm invested in getting to know you. I want to do the things that you like to do. I see the things that you do, like invite me. That goes a big way with me because sometimes I feel like that. I'm like, what friend groups can I mix? Who wants to go do this? Do they think it's lame? Like you can really feel that way. But letting your friends know that like nothing you do to me is lame and like just like invite me, and frankly if I say no, don't take it personal, and if you say no to me, it's not personal. So once you're growing your friendship, tell them what you like about your friendship, because friendships, they ebb, they flow, they grow, but in the moment just be like, no, this is what I really like about our friendship. Like I love that you give it to me straight. I love that we can have very open communication. I love that when we disagree, it's not a big personal thing. But I can also say my piece and feel heard, and you can do the same with me. I think just saying those things in the moment of when they're happening reinforces this is the type of friendship I want to have, and that this wasn't weird or don't think about it later. Like this was cool. Like I'm down with this. This little bit of like uncomfortable conversation, like don't shy away from it with me. Like this was good. Like say those things to people because they don't know. And simple stuff is like calling somebody your friend. I know that sounds crazy. Just call them. Where you been, friend? What you doing, friend? Sup, bestie? That's my bestie. Like really, like solidify it. Put a name on it. Like don't, you know what I mean? Like just, you my friend, bitch. Like, cause it was one of those things like, how are we? What is our, like, define the relationship. We're friends. Okay, we're friends. So those are my tips. Those are my preachy tips and kind of a little bit of the backstory of how I met all these girls that you will be seeing in my vlogs and in my life, because I adore them. They're so fun, and it's given me, the light flickering. It's given me a lot of confidence in making friends, confidence in going out to have people to go do things with. It is so important to have a tribe and people that you can be with and feel like they understand you. That is the most important thing. But I do want to be very, very clear about something. Do not settle. Nothing in your life is ever missing. You will not, you do not need to rush into anything or any friendship. You are fine on your own. You will always be fine on your own. Don't worry about it. But if you want friends, you can have them, but know what you deserve. More than anything, know what you deserve and know how you deserve to be treated. It's very important. And I'm so tired of how many times I've said important. I mean, it could be a drinking game at this point, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna go pick up my friends, my girls. And I will see you guys in my next video. I hope this one found you in the best place possible. If you like it, don't forget to leave it a like me, don't forget to subscribe. Want to see more of me, you can always check me out on my Instagram, my TikTok, my Pinterest, and I will see you later because they are texting me. I gotta go.